If you own a collision center, a body shop, and you're not connecting with the next generation, yet you're begging for technicians, you're doing something wrong.
Last year, Ford CEO Jim Farley sounded the alarm, saying the country's emphasis on four-year degrees had contributed to the shortage.
I didn't know what to do out of high school. I was kind of a troubled kid, to be honest. I got myself hung around the wrong people.
America, or not America rather, doesn't have a mechanic shortage. It has a mechanic retention problem. And if you're a dealership owner or a repair shop manager, that should scare you right now, because you can put a technician's wanted sign on the front door just about right now or tomorrow, and that doesn't replace the 20-year technician who walked out yesterday. And that's the part of this current crisis the automotive industry doesn't want to talk about enough. The U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics projects about 70,000 openings every year for automotive service technicians and mechanics all the way through to 2034. But here's what matters. A lot of these openings aren't new. They're replacement for people who retire or leave the occupation. So when you hear that America needs more mechanics, don't just ask, where are the young people? You have to ask, why are experienced technicians leaving? Because that's where the real problem starts. So in today's episode, we're going to be reacting to this news feature by Alabama 42, addressing a mechanic shortage in the US. And again, finally, more local news network, mainstream media has finally gotten the memo. But this all started because Ford CEO Jim Farley came out and announced it, and he rang the alarm. Then the bells went off. Take a look at this.
More than 6 million car crashes happen each year, and those cars need to be fixed somewhere, but there aren't enough technicians to fix the damage.
The industry will need more than 73,000 new workers by 2029, and apprenticeship schools are trying to fill that worker shortage. News Nation's Mills Hayes shows us how. Americans spend on average $5,000 to fix their car after a crash, but a shortage of collision technicians can drive that bill even higher. At Metropolitan Community College in Omaha, Nebraska,
Let me see what that point looks like that you selected.
Joe Baker is training the next generation through a 2-year apprenticeship program costing less than $6,000.
We talk about a technician shortage and a need for this type of labor. I have a student of mine that I just talked to a couple weeks ago. He's been in the career field for a year and a half, and he's got some really good benefits. And I said, what are you making? I'm just curious. He's like, Joe, I had $115,000 this year.
Again, keeping your fingers open to ring.
But still, training programs fall 58% short of demand. Even last year, Ford CEO Jim Farley sounded the alarm, saying the country's emphasis on 4-year degrees had contributed to the shortage.
I didn't know what to do out of high school. I was kind of a troubled kid, to be honest. I got myself hung around the wrong people.
But Ian found a new path here and now hopes to open his own business one day.
I want to have a happy family. I want to have a nice house. I want to be able to take nice vacations.
While students are still in school, they're already working at
And that's one of the things. A lot of Americans, young men in particular, they still believe in the American dream. Going to school, getting a nice job, getting a family, owning a house, and the list goes on. But as Jim Farley mentioned, it now takes a 4-year degree. But somewhere along the line, some agency will step in and try to monetize everything. Now, a 4-year degree, young people are going to have to take out a student loan to learn something that has caused a shortage. And back in the days, young people could just walk off the street inside a shop and then learn mechanic work right there on the spot. If you're broken down on a roadside, no one cares. If you're ASE certified, they will just actually receive and glad for the help. But if you've worked in a dealership or a repair shop, you already know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, you have to stay with me, because the mechanic shortage eventually becomes your problem as a customer. It will. Subscribe to Partsman Pro for the side of the automotive industry you don't always hear from the showroom. And we're going to start with the numbers. As she said it earlier, BLS says roughly 805,000 automotive service technicians and mechanics were working in the United States in 2024. And the median annual wage was about $49,000, just about $23.88 an hour. And the occupation is projected to grow 4% through 2034. So why can't the industry fill its base? And here's a real problem. Today's technicians isn't only dealing with mechanical parts. You're dealing with computerized diagnostics, sensors, electronic systems, advanced safety systems, and increasingly complicated vehicle networks. And you need the training, you need the information, you need the diagnostic equipment, and you need the experience. But the problem is it takes years. Here's a question. Are we paying the people enough to make that type of investment worthwhile, especially with a 4-year degree? Because a young person looks at the trade differently than somebody who has already spent 20 years in it right now. And they see the tool cost, they see the training cost, they see the physical wear, they see the production pressure, and then they compare that against other technical careers. And that's where the industry needs to get serious. You cannot recruit your way out of a retention problem. If you think about that right now, if you hire 10 new technicians and lose 8 experienced ones, you didn't solve the shortage. All you did was made hiring department feel a lot more productive. And that is a total different scenario. And this is where dealerships need to look in the mirror. How does your pay system work? How predictable is a technician's income? And what happens when the shop doesn't have enough work? What happens when a repair gets delayed because a part isn't available? And what happens when a diagnostic problem takes twice as long as the labor guide suggests? Who is actually going to absorb all that lost time? The technician often does. I'm not saying every dealership operates this way. They don't. But the industry has to acknowledge that compensation and working conditions affect retention. Let's continue.
Local body shops like this one, earning a paycheck, getting real-world experience, and hoping to get hired on full-time after graduation.
If you own a collision center, a body shop, and you're not connecting with the next generation, yet you're begging for technicians, you're doing something wrong.
I think I could have a great future outside when I finish this program.
Almost as many people that are coming into the career are leaving the career each year. Why do you think that is, and what needs to change?
Students today and entry-level employees want to be treated well. They want to have decent benefits. They want to have some time off here and there. Growing up, honestly, and not having a lot of money was challenging, but it's changed my life a lot because I don't want to put my daughter in some of the situations that I was in, and the automotive industry's helped make that happen.
And he certainly has a point, because working in the automotive industry has afforded me the privilege to buy homes, cars, and send my children through school. TechForce's current research points to factors including compensation tools, work-life balance, and career paths when examining what attracts and keeps technicians. And that brings me to another problem. The best technician in your shop is also the easiest person for another industry to hire. Think about what a good technician actually knows. Diagnostic systems, mechanic systems, computer solving, equipment analysis. That's very valuable outside automotive. BLS puts the 2024 median pay for heavy vehicle and mobile equipment technicians at $62,000 compared to $49,000 for automotive service technicians. So your technician isn't competing only against a dealership across the road or down the road or across town. They're competing against other industries. And if another employer offers better pay, better hours, or less physical punishment, your technician has options. And that's the reality of the situation. Now, here's where I really want dealership executives to hear. Stop treating technicians as a cost center. Your technician is the person who turns a repair into a revenue. If you don't have a good technician or a mechanic, the car will sit there. The customer will wait longer. The service advisor will get frustrated. The parts department will get frustrated. The dealership loses throughput, and the customer actually takes the car somewhere else. So the technician isn't sitting at the bottom of the automotive business. The technician is the part of the engine that makes the business. And yet, some businesses, they still treat the technician development like it's an expense they need to control. And that's a backward way of thinking. Training isn't charity. Tools aren't charity. Career development isn't charity. They're actual investments. They're investments in the people who keep your customers' vehicles on the road. And here's another uncomfortable fact. TechForce's 2026 research says employers across 10 technical sectors will need about 241,000 new technicians every year through 2029, while technical schools and community colleges, they will produce about 101,000 graduates last year. And that's a huge gap. Don't just take that number and pretend all 241,000 are automotive jobs. They aren't. That's only just across 10 sectors. For automotive service technicians specifically, BLS still projects about 70,000 annual openings, and that distinction actually matters.
How y'all doing? You need some help? Yeah. The jack. Hey, eat break. Emergency break.
And here you have people like the roadside tech on TikTok, very popular guy, goes around and assists people and get them going who are unable to help themselves get out of a jam if they're broken down on the major highway you're seeing here.
Hey, grab the clubs out. Grab the clubs.
And then I thought,
Yeah, I do.
Let's check another one.
Hey, you need some help?
I got a flat right here.
I see it on the other side. Boy, you got another one on this side? No, you're good right there. Yeah, you're good. Yes, this one right here.
Wow.
Hey, get a little bit closer to the wall and I'll change it out for free. Yeah, just get a little closer.
And why I chose this one is that nobody cares if he's ASE certified or anything like that. When they're in stress, they just need the help to get themselves going. And for automotive service technicians specifically, BLS still projects about 70,000 annual openings, and that actually right now, it matters a lot. Because if we're going to fix this problem, we need accurate numbers, not industry talking points. And here's my biggest question. Where is the career path? A young technician shouldn't have to look at the service bay and think, this is what I'll be doing forever. You have to show them the ladder. Apprenticeship specialist, master technician, foreman manager, fleet manager, service management. There are other parts, but the industry has to make those parts visible. And it has to reward those people when they climb the ladder. Because if your most experienced technician is still being treated like an entry-level employee after 15 or 20 years, don't be surprised when somebody else makes them a better offer. So here's what I think the automotive industry needs to stop saying. We can't find mechanics. That's only half the story. The better question is, why can't you keep them? Because you can spend money on recruiting, you can run school programs, you can offer scholarships, you can put recruiters at technical colleges. You can put no hiring on every job board in America. But if experienced technicians keep walking out the back door, you're only filling a leaking bucket. And eventually, the customer pays for it. Higher labor rates, longer wait times, appointments being pushed back for weeks into the future. More vehicles will be sitting in the bays and fewer experienced people available to diagnose the problems that modern vehicles throw at them. Now, here's my message to dealership owners, service directors, and shop managers. Pay attention to the technicians you already have. Ask them, what would it take to make them stay? Ask them what frustrates them. Ask them if the pay system works. Ask them if the schedule works. Ask them if they have a future with your company. And then, here's the part what matters. Listen to the answer. Because the next time somebody tells you America needs more mechanics, remember this. We don't simply need more people holding wrenches. We need more people who want to build a career with them. And if this industry can't give skilled technicians a reason to stay, don't blame the shortage on the next generation. Look at the people running the shops, because sometimes the hardest mechanic to find is the one you just gave a reason to leave. This is Partsman Pro, and that's the part of the mechanic shortage nobody wants to put on the job posting. And if you want more videos like this, increase the likes on this video, share this video and subscribe. Remember to grab a copy of my ebook, The Parts Manager Guide. The links are in the description box below. Stay sharp, stay educated, and I'll catch you in the next one.